Welcome to the Market Mystics podcast. I'm Joshua.
I'm Kim. Let's dive in.
Hello, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
I'm sure we talked about this last year, but I'm just curious, Kim, do you have favorite Thanksgiving items and least favorite Thanksgiving items?
Absolutely. Even our group chat just went through this
I
a
know.
couple days ago.
That's kind of what made me think about it. And I
Is
was
it?
like, oh yeah, that's a great question to start with.
That's funny. First of all, this is a very non-faith-based thing to say, or maybe it is. I don't know, whatever. Thanksgiving has always been my favorite holiday.
That's awesome.
It just is. I love spending time with people. I like food, although I don't tend to be that excited about Thanksgiving food.
Interesting.
But I'm a quality time kind of girl. And so I've just always really liked Thanksgiving. So my favorite Thanksgiving item is, well, I will say this, and you're gonna barf. Josh is gonna
I know. I feel like we might have talked about this last year on the podcast because I think I already know your answers, or maybe it's just because we're friends.
It is green bean casserole,
Yeah.
but it is the non-traditional kind.
Yeah.
I would consider the traditional kind, the kind that's made with cream of mushroom soup and with the French fried onions.
Yeah.
And that one's fine, but my family makes a different kind and it is so good. I might, if I remember to do this, I might put it in the show notes. Because you should try it. It is so good. It's so good. Josh, you cannot have it. It has cheese in it.
I know. I don't know that I would try it anyways.
Do you just not like green beans?
No, I don't mind green beans. I just, for some reason, maybe yours is so different it would blow my mind. I
It's
just don't know
completely
that I can
different than
get
the
on
other
board.
one. It's like not even, it's only that it's mixed, that green beans are mixed with other things that would even put it in the same category.
Okay.
Yes. So that's my favorite. Although I also really love just a basic risen yeast dough, like roll, like a hot roll with a little butter on it. Like just,
it's hard to beat.
It is. What about you?
Did you go least favorite?
No.
Okay. That was part of the question.
I know. We'll come back to it.
Okay. Most favorite. I'm gonna say ham, which has been a new, I don't know, new addition, but I think our family has been getting a little bit better at it. And so, I know turkey can be great. It's just not the one I'm generally drawn to. But just some nice ham, a little bit of mashed potatoes, it's just a good little meal. I'm just even a lot of times we'll make a bunch of ham and then the next day we have ham sandwiches or turkey sandwiches left over and it's it's the gift that keeps giving.
That's true.
Yeah.
I also kind of don't care about turkey. People love it. I know that people love it.
Yeah.
I've just not really met any turkey on Thanksgiving that I was like, man, this is good.
Yeah.
I just go, oh, it's Thanksgiving. I should take some turkey.
Yeah.
And it's not because it's poorly prepared. It's just because I think it's not my favorite.
Yeah. I'm also a big fan of the pies, but I don't know that it's when I think of Thanksgiving, I think of pumpkin pie, which is fine. I'm not a hater, but apple pie is one of my favorite things. And so
it is.
Yeah. And so we don't generally we'll have a couple kinds of pie and it's just I think it's delightful.
That's good to know. Here's a fun fact. My mom has won the blue ribbon at the state fair for her apple pie.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Sharon, my address is
Oh, that's funny. She loves to make an apple pie. I don't care about pies either.
Mm,
Isn't that funny? I was thinking about it because I was like pumpkin pie is very traditional. I don't care for warm spices to begin with. I
mhm.
could eat a small sliver of it and it's good and fine, but I would never go out of my way to have it. Same
Sure.
with apple pie, cherry pie, con pie. I'm just not a pie person. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a very strange thing. Although I did just make a quiche yesterday. So
it's
here we are.
similar.
I guess I'm a pie person.
That's funny. All right, least favorite.
Probably, I'm going to say it's like the sweet potatoes, the candied yams kind of stuff
Sure.
with the marshmallows and the
Hmm.
sugary sweetness all over a vegetable. I can't get on board with it. It's
Yeah,
not on my Thanksgiving table unless someone else makes it. What
that's
about
fair.
you?
That's fair. You guys may have already guessed green bean casserole.
Can't
Yeah,
believe you hate it. Like there's such a disdain for it. It's
it's
been
just,
years that I've known this about you.
I will happily pass it up at any opportunity.
When's the last time you tried it?
It's probably been a while because generally it's made in such a way that I can't eat it anyways.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah,
That's valid. And that's a valid reason to pass on it.
that's true.
Do you want to
Yeah.
know another highly controversial thing that I care nothing about with Thanksgiving? Mashed potatoes. I don't care. I just don't care.
Ooh, man, I
I
love
know.
mashed potatoes.
I know. I've gotten to where I will make like a mashed cauliflower
Yeah,
because that's what I prefer. We still have mashed potatoes, but I don't know. They never impressed me.
that's funny. Last year, Brie made a turkey. Well, okay, let me rephrase. Brie made a loaf of bread shaped like a turkey, and that was super fun.
That's
Um,
super cool.
she's also this year has gotten really into making homemade sourdough bread. It's phenomenal. Um, and I kind of hope she tries the turkey with the sourdough bread because I think it would be great.
The
I think it would
sour
get all
turkey.
gobbled up.
Aren't you funny?
Okay, well, I have one thing in regards to like Thanksgiving that is slightly more serious than the past 8 minutes of food talk, which I hope you guys have thoroughly enjoyed because I think it's fun.
Wait, before you start, I
Yes.
have to wonder what any of our international listeners think about the traditional
Yeah.
Thanksgiving meal. I
Yeah.
would assume that due to media and like television and stuff, people probably know the gist of it, like
Mhm.
turkey at least.
Yeah.
But I have to wonder if people think it's the most random assortment of foods.
I don't know. When I was in college, my roommate was from Asia, and he was really excited to come home with me and try like a Thanksgiving meal because that was just like, yeah, something he'd seen on movies and media, and it was just like talked up. But he was like, "What really is it?" Like,
Did he love
so
it or hate it?
I think he very much so enjoyed it. Yeah,
I mean, that's good news.
yeah, yeah,
Fun.
yeah.
Okay,
So
now
that's
you
good.
can get into your serious thing. I'm sorry.
I don't know if it's super serious, but um, so in Greek, the word Eucharist, which within traditional churches would be like um, the communion service. Uh, Eucharist actually means Thanksgiving, like that's what it means in Greek,
Hmm.
and I think it's and maybe I should research the roots of the holiday Thanksgiving. Maybe they did that intentionally, but I just think that it's so cool that something that represents the Last Supper, communion with our Creator, um, is just a national holiday that we all take time away and, for the most part, share a table with family or friends and give thanks. Like
Mhm.
we're sitting, partaking in the body without even necessarily consciously knowing that. And I just think that that's really like a cool thing. Like I know, like I've definitely, sorry mom and dad if you're listening to this, think sometimes it's very cheesy to go around the table and talk about what you're thankful for, which I feel like is a it's a tradition in our house for sure.
I think it's a
Um,
common tradition.
yeah, I'm sure it is. But like I was just thinking about like how gratefulness is a pathway to God. Like
Hmm.
it's one of the easiest ways to connect with God is just to start thanking him for anything. Um and then from that, like so we sit at a table, we go around sharing what we're thankful for, then we partake in a meal. It's like partaking in, like we are literally doing communion. We are recreating the Last Supper in a very Western way. Sure, like it isn't meant to be a Jewish holiday or that type of a meal, but it also is very much so reflecting that event. And I think that's very fascinating.
I think so too. I didn't know the root of that word or that, Eucharist meant Thanksgiving. I think that's an interesting alignment. It certainly makes me want to make sure I have a glass of wine with my meal,
Mm,
as though I needed an excuse.
yeah.
Um, but I don't know. I personally like the whole like being sure to have gratitude,
Hmm.
the thankfulness, the intentionality, and not just because as someone who tends to be one of the primary cooks for this meal for my family unit,
Yeah.
it would be easy to get caught up in the doing for the day. And for me, like to be intentionally grateful, it's super helpful. Um, and it makes it, I don't know, it kind of makes it all worth it. Like you put a lot of effort in and it makes it this labor of love because you're so grateful and thankful to be with these people and have this
Mm.
food and and I love that. Apparently I'm awfully sentimental. I think I am a very sentimental person. Did you know this about me?
I don't know that I would have used those words, but when you said it, I was like, oh, I can definitely see that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very strange mix because I'm not like I don't tend to get wildly emotional about things, but I am very sentimental. Like things mean like they
Mm.
matter to me. And so things like that, like just being grateful for the people I'm with and the life that I have and even the relationship I have with father, just
Yeah.
it's nice to take a minute and kind of all sit in that together. It's a sweet energy. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, even like you were talking about like the labor of love, like I feel like that is, if you have the right mindset about it, that's also very much so a mystical thing. Like to serve someone else,
Mm,
is very much so a opportunity to connect. Um, and obviously it definitely, like it doesn't always, it's not always that way for everybody, but like I think it is an opportunity for it to be that way.
yeah.
um I mean, I think about like now my grandma who's in her 90s and her husband um want to have the whole family come over, even extended family come over for Thanksgiving, even though they're really not capable of hosting that big of an event. And it's very stressful for them to have that many people come over, but there's still something that, like, there's still something there. There's still something that's important in that. So we've sort of like, uh, we have come to like a uh, tradition, I guess, of like uh, not taking everyone there at one time just because
Hmm.
it can be super overwhelming. And so we do shifts of going to see the grandparents on Thanksgiving. And it works great for everybody. And so I feel like it's just there is something that is possible if you have the right mindset about this holiday of like choosing to really be grateful for who you are and who you're around, and the things you have. And I also understand it isn't that way for everybody, which makes me all the more grateful that it is that way, um, in my life.
Yeah, for sure. So, Josh,
Yes.
what are you thankful for this year?
Um, okay. I'm gonna say life. Um, and I wouldn't say that I've had any like big health scares or threats or anything like that. I had a car accident a month and a half ago that could potentially have been bad. It wasn't. Like I wasn't injured at all, but could have. Um, but I think I'm just really thankful for my life and the life of those in my life. Like really thankful for Bree and my parents and my siblings and kids and um, siblings, kids, not my kids. Don't want to start any rumors on the podcast. Um, but yeah, I think just like for life, like I feel grateful for life. What about
Love
you?
that. I think I'm grateful for legacy this year. And I was just thinking about, oh, with Thanksgiving, we tend to, if there's someone we know who doesn't have family around or whatever, like even with, I was telling Henry, he's at college and um I was like, "Do you have any of your friends who can't go home? I mean, they can come to Thanksgiving. I would love to have people there like included in a loving place, having a good
Mm,
meal and be able to love them like family, you know?" And I was just thinking about how that was such a legacy of my grandmother and she passed that
mm,
on. See, look, I am really sentimental.
yeah.
And I mean, she led the way with that. And it's always been like this in our family. It's always been like, I mean, we can be family to anyone.
Mm,
And I love that because I don't
yeah.
think that I don't know, love has to have like it can only go so far. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, and I'm glad that you like made that offer, especially like for college kids, because there is a lot of them who can't travel home for holidays, and that can be a really meaningful thing. Like I know when I was in college, the president of our university would he would go eat Thanksgiving lunch in the cafeteria each year with all the kids who weren't able to go home, and it was like a really special thing for some of those kids to like not someone who you don't interact with a lot, who's like not spending Thanksgiving with their family to go be with you. Like that's a really special thing. So I think it's amazing that you are opening your table to those around you. I think that's beautiful
Thanks. That's all I know.
and a great way to carry on Grammy's legacy.
Indeed. Okay. Well, let me just wrap those emotions up.
You can,
Good.
after this, you can go get a little sliver of pumpkin pie and like help soothe them down.
That's hilarious. Pumpkin pie would not be that. What shall I get? Oh,
Another
I know.
scoop of another
Maybe,
scoop of green bean casserole.
yes, I'll get some green bean casserole and a little bit of amarula on some ice. Wouldn't that be nice?
That'd be nice. I like it.
I'm
I
gonna have
like
to
it.
do that. Okay. Thank you guys for joining us today.
Yeah.
We are honestly and very truly grateful that you're here with us today and always. And enjoy the rest of your Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next time.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Hey, thanks for listening. Keep up with us along this journey by liking, subscribing, and becoming a member through YouTube.
Members get exclusive access to bonus content with our guests, deeper dives into topics, and a look into other projects. We're glad to have you here. See you next time.